Thank you, AI and ICI committee for this opportunity and for organizing, and the conveners for all the coordination, and the faculty for giving their time. My use case today is a common pain point that I feel is faced by my chartered accountant colleagues and accountants all over. I will just share my screen. My, I hope the screen is visible.
Yes.
So my use case today is AI-powered auditing pipeline, which helps you in tax audit, and also to a large extent in your statutory audit and a internal audit. Now this utility right now is customized specifically for retrieving data from Tally, but in future it can be extended to any form of accounting data source. It solves the pain point of being able to not retrieve data from Tally quickly, being able to not being able to analyze the data which is coming from Tally. It also solves the pain point of platform. We believe, or rather I believe, that Excel still continues to be the prevalent platform on which people operate. And my use case enhances upon Excel as a system and a platform, and allows you to customize further by exporting data into JSON formats, which can then be used in any LLM of your liking. So you may like Claude, you may like Gemini, you may like ChatGPT. You will be able to export the data in a simple format in the use case and be able to put it in a LLM for analysis. So we'll start with step one, which is the tally data. I will just share my entire screen. The step-by-step method would be data retrieval, going over to the Excel platform, exporting to JSON in a LLM friendly data. JSON is a format and a language which LLMs clearly and easily understand. So for example, if you're importing an Excel file, it is easier to import it in a JSON format, since it is a language LLMs like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude are able to understand better. And then you can customize your prompt, customize your analysis, and enhance and dazzle your clients or your colleagues with the reports that you're able to generate. So with that being said, I will just share my entire screen. Here is a dummy data and a dummy company which has certain tally data for the period 1st April 2024 to 30th June 2024. Our first step is to use the Excel utility. The Excel utility here is receiving the data from Tally. I have already run the utility once, but just to showcase how I can run it, I will go to the input parameters sheet. I can enter the date from which I want the data to the date I want the data. So for example, if I want to analyze the data for April, May, and June, I will enter the date as 1st April to 30th June 2024. I will go to data and I will go press refresh on. This will enable the software to quickly load the data from Tally into the Excel sheet. As you can see, 2500 rows, if you can see on the right, 2500 rows were exported from Tally into our software in a matter of seconds. What I have been using in this utility is to import data from Tally using XML methods rather than ODBC. Often you might have seen that when you're using ODBC, sometimes a driver fails, sometimes you're unable to import. If the amount of data is substantial, it becomes very difficult to import it into Excel. The utility uses XML, which enhances the data flow. Once the data is entered, you can see the trial balance from the date with which you specified in the input parameters. The trial balance has your name, the parent group, the primary group, the opening balance, debit, credit, and closing balance. Now, my objective as a tax auditor is to analyze which all vouchers have TDS on them, which all vouchers have GST on them. Is there any variance? All of these reports are already customized and entered into this Excel utility. However, there is an issue which people face, that every time when you use this utility for a different company, the ledger names for TDS might be different. So my utility allows you to customize the ledger name based on whatever is the applicable ledger. So for example, in the current dummy company, I know for a fact that all the TDS ledgers based on the trial balance I have inputted over here. All the GST ledgers I have entered over here. And then I have selected the groups for which I want to analyze. These are the tally primary groups: your purchase accounts, indirect expenses, direct expenses, sale groups. And yet again, I've been able to put GST, RCM. So let us see how the software is able to churn this data and analyze the report. With this report, I am able to first see a basic heat map. This heat map allows me to check for all the groups which are appearing in Tally, for example, a direct expense group, indirect expense group, and indirect income group. It allows me to see how much is the expense and variances in the expense on a month-on-month basis based on the ledgers. So this allows me to quickly analyze, check that what are the variances. Similarly, based on the customization and the TDS ledger you have entered, I can check on each ledger, on each TDS ledger which I have entered, what is the expense that is being debited, what is the expense, the name of the party, the total expense being debited, and the TDS that is there. Now this gives you a very quick bird's eye view on analyzing the data, and you can quickly check that which all expenses have been debited in which all TDS ledgers. You can customize it by month, and you can switch the columns and customize the report to your own understanding. Similar report we have been able to generate for GST, where the GST ledger name is displayed, the expense ledger is displayed, the party, and the total expense. Now this allows you to reconcile ITC quickly for a tax, statutory, or internal audit, allows you to check the TDS quickly, you get a bird's eye view. Similarly, for RCM, based on the ledgers, I can quickly check on which all expenses, TDS and RCM, has been charged, and I am able to have a quick look. Not only this, it doesn't solve our problem by just analyzing which all ledgers have TDS, GST on them. It also allows us to check all expenses. For example, in this table, I have the expense head over here. I have the party name over here, the total expense, the total TDS, and the total GST. I can easily use a simple slicer and check which all vouchers don't have any GST on them, and which all vouchers, by selecting this button, I can quickly select that which all vouchers don't have TDS on them. Similar analysis can be done on sales. I can quickly analyze which all sale data has GST and does not have GST. For example, in this immediate sale data, I can see that the GST is not applicable only on interest income of fixed deposit. So as in front of you, in basically 3 to 4 minutes, we have been able to quickly analyze the TDS GST compliances. We've been able to check the heat map, but that is only one part of the utility. The data and the number of data and the amount of data that we as chartered accountants have to analyze is becoming humongous. We need a quick way to be able to analyze what is happening in the heat map, what is happening in the TDS and GST. So now the additional enhancement of this utility is a simple Python code which allows me to export the sheet of the Excel into a JSON format. I will demonstrate how this works. I will just run this code. I will select my Excel file in which I have done all the analysis. I will select the sheet for which I want to export the JSON. This JSON file can then be imported to LLM. So what we are doing in this step is to basically bridge the information in the Excel in the format you are comfortable with. किसी भी month का you can do the analysis. For example, April, May, June, you could have selected from the slicer in Excel and then use that. And for example, now I will take the heat map. I will export it to JSON. I close my utility, and here is the heat map that is in JSON. Now I will take this JSON and now I will go to my favorite LLM. In my case, it is Gemini. You can use any of your favorite LLMs here. In this LLM, I have already done the prompt just so that for in paucity of time. What my prompt was, I put my heat map and I said, analyze this heat map from an internal audit perspective and prepare a dashboard for the management. Gemini has very cleverly conducted an analysis on the heat map and has come out with an excellent, very well drafted report giving me key risk areas. So for example, I can observe and tell the management that in detention charges, I hope the screen is visible. I hope that in detention charges, there is an extreme deviation. Investigate transaction for May and October. So I have been able to send this data by not copy pasting it, by sending it in a proper format to the LLM and then asking it for conducting the analysis, which maybe as a human I could not do. I can easily check expense trends. This entire report has been generated by LLM, so it reduces your manual effort. आप अपने Excel में अपने format से quickly देखिए, export the file, put it into an LLM. It can also analyze expense trends, monthly breakdown, key risk areas, expense trend for each and every item. So something which would have ideally escaped your eyes while analyzing the Excel file, we have been able to automate. Going to the next example, let us now try an example in front of you. We will use the sheet of TDS, what has been exported or trial balance. Let us put it into an LLM and
Dhruv, the last 2 minutes.
yes. Now I have exported the sheet trial from my Excel file simply by running a code, and I am saying analyze top creditors and movement in them. This will give me a comprehensive report of top creditors. It allows me to talk to the LLM with my data without essentially using a copy paste every time and without any complicated methods, and giving you the freedom to use the LLM in your own hands. So here is the data that has been analyzed. A quick opening balance, net debit, credit, movement analysis has been done, incurred new liabilities, made large payments, etc. Notable high creditors with negative balance. So it's we have been able to quickly analyze each and every aspect, generate a report, and in all of these LLMs, it is suggested to use the canvas mode, which allows you to come up with a report which is presentable and in HTML format, and which can be shared to end users and enhance your data quality analysis. So in front of you, we've been able to analyze the entire performance of 3 months in 8 minutes, which sir just said is the time that has expired, and been able to generate a MIS report for sharing with stakeholders. That being said, 3 key takeaways: rapid auditing. You are able to audit things quickly. It's my assurance and my personal experience that I've been able to audit companies where there are substantial turnover in 30 minutes. Significant ease of use. Aapka entry is happening only in Excel. If you want, you can export that data, quickly go to any LLM, Chat GPT, Claude, OpenAI, wherever you want, and you have the option of using a LLM agnostic setup. That is my use case, and thank you to the conveners, coordinators, and AI and ICI for the time. Over to the faculty.
Okay, great. Good use case, Dhruv.
Thank you.
Ratnagiri sir.
Nice starting, Dhruv. That's a wonderful opening batsman. So that's great. So let us see whether other people are giving you. The point is, I want to know only one thing from this small project. So this Power Query, and I hope you have used Power Query for this loading the data. Yes.
Yes, sir. We've used Power Query. Yes.
So that query you have developed or using AI?
Yes. So I am just displaying the query. The query does not use ODBC. That is the key essence of this, because ODBC in older computers becomes an issue. If you're using it on, let's say, 32-bit, 64-bit, a lot of people get frustrated.
Yes, we know, sir. We know we don't have time.
using
So I'm just asking you, whether this Power Query code
yes.
You have designed or got from AI?
Got from AI. Half a little bit help from AI, but the objective to use XML was mine. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right. Thank you for brilliantly explaining how do you convert your tally data in a one-click wonder. Good presentation from your side.
Thank you. Thank you.
And